John was just an ordinary guy. He lived in a small apartment, worked from home, and spent most of his free time watching sci-fi movies or chatting online. He wasn't famous, not rich, and definitely not ready for anything exciting. But that day, everything changed. It all started with a ping. John was using a new intergalactic messaging app, a silly one, where humans could send and receive random messages from faraway alien users. The app was just for fun. Most people didn't believe the aliens were real. They thought it was AI or some prank server. But John liked it. It made him laugh. That day, he got a message from a user named ZYR-of-GLIES. Heaven. Double quotes her profile picture. Showed a glowing blue-skinned alien with bright eyes and a big smile. Cute, he thought. The message she sent was simple. Dancing alien GIF. For you, Earthling. John laughed. The alien was doing a funny little dance. It had big round eyes, long ears, and sparkly hands. He typed back, "Haha, that's adorable. You're funny, Zira." Then he forgot about it. He made coffee, watched a video, and went to bed. The next morning, something felt strange. John opened his eyes slowly. The room was shaking. A soft humming sound filled the air, not from the ground, but from above. He walked to his window and looked outside. Then he froze. There, in the sky above his neighborhood, were 3 massive alien ships. Dark silver, glowing with blue lights. They hovered silently, blocking the sunlight. People were screaming in the street. Dogs were barking, sirens were ringing. John's mouth went dry. What the hell? His phone buzzed. It was another message from Zira. "Welcome, my husband. The bonding ritual is complete." He stared at the screen. Husband? Bonding ritual? What? Before he could respond, a strange light filled his room, like a beam of energy. A second later, he was gone. John opened his eyes again, but he was no longer in his room. He stood inside a large round chamber. The floor was glass. The walls glowed gently. Strange creatures moved around him, some tall, some floating, all wearing shiny robes. Then she walked in. Zyra. She was real. Her skin was blue and soft-looking. Her eyes were large, glowing with light. Her voice was calm, but powerful. "John of Earth," she said with a smile. "Our bonding was successful. You accepted my ritual gift. You are now my chosen." John stepped back. "Wait, what? I just replied to a GIF." The room fell silent. Zira tilted her head. "Your response was joyful and positive. That means agreement in our culture." John shook his head. No, on Earth, that's just being nice." "I thought it was a joke." A tall alien in a black robe stepped forward. His voice was deeper. "You accepted the sacred mating signal. Our laws are clear. The bonding is now legal." John's heart pounded. "You can't be serious. I didn't mean anything." Zira walked closer. Her eyes were gentle now. "I chose you carefully. Your mind, your heart, your DNA, they are rare. You are not here by accident. I don't want to get married to an alien." John shouted. The judge-like alien spoke again. "You have 7 Earth days. Accept the bond, or face the consequences." John's mind raced. "Consequences? What consequences?" Zira smiled. "Don't worry, husband. You'll grow to love me." The floor lit up again. A second later, John was standing inside a glowing room with a single bed, a table, and a window showing the stars. He sat down slowly. "This can't be real," he whispered. "This has to be a dream, a prank, anything." But at Wu Asen single quotes T. Outside the window, one of the massive ships moved past slowly, carrying him farther away from Earth, and closer to a future he never asked for. He looked at his phone again. The GIF was still there, that cute little alien with sparkly hands, doing a funny dance. And now, that GIF had changed his life forever. *. John opened his eyes to silence. Not the kind of quiet you hear at night. This silence felt wrong, heavy, like the whole universe had stopped breathing. He was no longer in the glowing room from before. Now. He stood in the center of a giant circular hall. The floor was smooth like glass, but it showed moving images beneath his feet. Planets, stars, and data flowing like rivers. Strange symbols floated in the air around him. He could feel eyes. Watching him. Above him sat 12 alien figures on high chairs, all different species. Some had feathers. Others had no faces at all. But they all stared at him with the same cold curiosity. This was not a welcome party. This was a trial. A deep, echoing voice broke the silence. John of Earth, you stand before the Intergalactic Bonding Council. Do you understand your crime? John looked around, confused and sweating. Crime? What crime? I just replied to a GIF. A loud buzz filled the room. The aliens didn't like his answer. Zira stepped forward. She looked calm, graceful, and far too comfortable in this place. He accepted the bonding signal with joy, she said. According to Section 9A of the Galactic Law of Union, that is consent. John raised his hands. Wait, that's not how it works on Earth. A GIF is like a joke. It's not a contract. The alien with glowing eyes leaned forward. You sent the reply. Haha, that's adorable. That response is considered sacred approval. John nearly shouted. It was just polite. I say that to dog videos. Another alien, this one shaped like a floating jellyfish, hovered closer and beeped, translating his emotions in real time. Subject shows signs of panic, fear, and high confusion. Conclusion: he is telling the truth. A pause. Then, the tall, deep-voiced alien spoke again. Our laws do not bend for emotion. Intent is irrelevant. Action is what we honor. John looked at Zira. This is insane. Why me? You could have sent that GIF to anyone. Zira's eyes softened, but her voice remained strong. Because you replied. Others ignored it. Others joked cruelly. You responded with kindness. That means more to my people than you can understand. John felt like the floor might vanish beneath him. I was being nice. That doesn't mean I want to marry an alien. Another voice, softer, female, but still alien, echoed from the upper seats. You have 7 Earth days. During this time, you may bond with your chosen partner. If you accept her, peace remains. If you reject her, the air grew colder. Earth will face the consequences of breaking sacred code. John stared at the council. Are you threatening my planet? For a mistake I didn't even understand. Zira stepped closer. Her voice dropped to a whisper only he could hear. I'm not your enemy, John. I didn't trick you. I just followed our way. But now that you are here, I hope you'll stay. John backed away. This isn't fair. I didn't choose any of this. The council signaled. A glowing panel appeared before him with alien symbols slowly translating into English. Sign here to accept the bond, decline, and face termination of union. He didn't sign. Instead, the jellyfish alien beeped again. Subject refuses to comply, initiating trial period protocol. A flash of light surrounded John. He reappeared in a different room. Darker, colder, larger. This one looked like a living museum. Walls showed alien artifacts. A garden grew in one corner with glowing vines. There was food on a table, strange fruits and glowing water. A single bed. This wasn't a prison. It was a honeymoon suite. Zira was already there, sitting calmly. This is your new home, she said softly. For now. John sat down on the edge of the bed, holding his head. This can't be happening. Zira stood up. I know this is hard. But you have 7 days. Talk to me. Ask questions. If by the end you still want to go, I'll help you leave. But at least understand why I chose you. John looked up at her. Why me? She smiled. Not with her lips, with her glowing eyes. Because you were kind, and our future needs kindness. Outside the window, the stars moved slowly. Time was running out, and John wasn't sure if he was a guest, a prisoner, or something much more important. John didn't sleep that night. The room was too quiet. The stars outside the glass window moved too slowly, like time was melting. Even the bed, soft and warm, felt too perfect, as if it was made for him, because it was. He sat near the window, watching glowing vines crawl up the wall. Somewhere nearby, a machine hummed softly, like it was breathing. Then the door opened. He turned quickly, expecting guards. Another alien judge, maybe more weird legal papers. But it was her. Zyr. She belonged there. Her glowing skin shimmered in soft blue light. Her eyes were deep, almost endless. She wore a flowing robe made of some material that sparkled like stars. But something was different this time. She wasn't smiling. I hope the room is comfortable, she said gently. John stood up slowly. It's fine, a little too perfect. Zyr looked around. It's based on your thoughts. The system scanned your memories, designed this for you. That's creepy, John replied. Zyr tilted her head. Is kindness creepy on Earth? John crossed his arms. You call this kindness? I wake up in an alien court, threatened with a forced marriage, and now I'm being held like a guest prisoner? Zyr sighed. We don't see it that way. In my culture, this is tradition, honor. John looked away. In mine, it's kidnapping. A long silence fell between them. Then Zyr took a step closer. I want to show you something. She reached toward the wall and pressed her hand against a glowing panel. The far side of the room shimmered, revealing a hidden passage. Inside was a strange garden, glowing softly under artificial moons. At the center, a pool reflected the stars. John hesitated. Zyr looked back. You're not a prisoner, John. You can walk beside me, or leave. The door is not locked. John slowly followed her into the garden. It felt like a dream, too calm, too beautiful, like walking inside a painting. She stopped near a crystal-like tree. I was born here, she said, on Glee 7, but I was raised to understand Earth, your language, your emotions, your loneliness. John blinked. My what? Zyr smiled sadly. You talk to screens more than people. You laugh online, but sleep in silence. You give kindness to strangers, but get none in return. John's heart skipped. How did she know that? You were chosen, she said softly, because you're not cruel. That is rare in this galaxy. John looked down at the glowing grass. And what about you? Why did you agree to this? Zyr's face changed. She looked away. I didn't get a choice. Silence. Then she turned back, eyes glowing brighter now, not with joy, but something deeper, older. My family controls half this galaxy. My father is a high strategist. My bond is a political tool. John's mind raced. So I'm just... What? A peace treaty with legs? No, Zyr said firmly. You're a chance, a new future. If our child carries both bloodlines, war will end. Borders will vanish. Wait, child? She stepped closer, reaching toward his hand. That is why this bonding matters. John pulled away. You never told me that before. Zyr didn't move. I didn't want to scare you. He backed up, shaking his head. This isn't marriage. This is genetic politics. Zyr's voice softened. But I like you, John. I meant what I said. Your kindness reached. Annie, you were the only one who replied with heart. John looked into her glowing eyes, searching for a lie, but there wasn't one. Just sadness. Then she pointed toward a silver door near the garden wall. This is where the future is shaped, she said. The door opened on its own. Inside was a chamber with strange machines, glowing tanks, and long glass tubes. One pod was already marked with his DNA sequence. John stared in horror. "What is this place?" Zira whispered. "This is where our children will be kept. Safe. Watched. Perfect." He took a step back. "I never agreed to this. I didn't sign up to be a father to alien science experiments." Zira didn't answer. The door slowly closed again. John turned to her, eyes wide. "Do you even hear yourself? This is madness." Zira's voice cracked for the first time. "I don't want to be my father's weapon. But I don't want to lose." "You either." John's voice dropped. "Then let me go." She shook her head slowly. "I can't. Not yet. There's too much at stake." He stormed back to the main room, heart pounding. He didn't know what scared him more, the alien science, or the fact that part of him believed her. Outside the window, the stars kept moving, and John finally realized this wasn't just about marriage. It was about power. It was about control. And it was about him. Asterisk, somewhere deep under Earth's surface. "In a secret bunker, we found him," said the voice. Dark monitors glowed in a cold metal room. 6 people stood silently, watching the video feed. One screen showed John, pacing inside the alien chamber, looking angry, confused, human. A woman in a black uniform stepped forward. "Gliese 7 protocol has activated," she said. "That means it's real, the bond, the contract." "Someone whispered." He replied to a GIF. The room fell silent. Then the commander spoke again. "Send him the claws, now, before they lock him in for good." Back on the alien ship, John was pacing like a trapped animal. He hadn't slept. He hadn't eaten. His thoughts were spinning like broken gears. Zira's words echoed in his head. "This is where our children will be kept. I can't let you go." He needed a way out. And then, his old phone lit up. The same little Earth device he thought was dead in space. Message from 8A command subject. Earth Clause 7 Bay clicked. "If alien bonding threatens Earth's biological sovereignty, the Earthborn may legally reject the Union under intergalactic law. Activation requires proof of threat." John blinked. A loophole. He scrolled down. "Clause expires in 48 Earth hours." His hands shook. Hope flooded in. He ran to the window, holding the phone like it was gold. "Zira, I want to talk." Zira entered slowly, cautious, as if expecting anger. "Are you all right?" "No," John said sharply. "But I know something now." He showed her the screen, the Earth Clause. "If this bond puts my planet in danger, I can say no, and you can't stop me." Zira's expression froze. Then she looked away. "I was afraid of that," she said. "So it's true," John pushed. "You're using me for DNA, for some super hybrid. And Earth didn't even get a vote." Zira's eyes glowed brighter, but not with anger. With sorrow. "You think this is just about blood?" She said. "It's about survival. My people are dying. Our future depends on strong union. Your world is strong. Emotionally, biologically. Dangerously strong." John stepped back. "Dangerous? That's why you want Earth?" Zira nodded. "Not to attack. To join, to learn." John was silent for a long moment. Then he whispered, "But we never agreed. You didn't ask." Zira didn't reply. Later, when Zira left the room, John activated his phone's hidden signal. A message from Earth flashed. "We can extract you. One-time window, but it will start a war." John's heart pounded. He sat in the dark. Choice A, escape now, save himself. Maybe start a war. Choice B, stay. Hope Zira meant what she said. Hope she wasn't lying. He whispered to the air. "Why? Me? Why not someone smarter, stronger?" Suddenly, the wall opened again. Not Zira this time, but a different alien, older, harsher. He wore black armor. His face had scars. His voice was like metal scraping stone. I am strategist Vorin, Zyra's father. John froze. You are not fit for her, Vorin said coldly. But your seed is valuable. That is all we need. John stepped back slowly. If you hurt me, your bond breaks, Vorin laughed. We do not need your permission. We just need your genetic cooperation. Then he left, leaving the door wide open. John stood there, sweating, shaking. The truth crashed down like thunder. This wasn't about love. This was a collection mission. Zyra returned later quietly. John looked her in the eyes. You said you chose me. You said it was about kindness. Zyra nodded. But your father, he only sees parts. Blood, data, DNA. Zyra sat beside him. That's why I wanted you, John. To show them what real bonding means. Not science. Not war. Just connection. John looked down at the phone again. One message blinked. Activate extraction. Yes, no. He had 48 hours. He had the Earth clause. But now, the lines were blurred. Because somewhere in Zyra's voice, between the lies and truths, he heard something real. Zyra had never felt fear before. Not when she faced enemy ships. Not when her planet nearly froze during the last solar collapse. But now, sitting alone in the observation dome, watching Earth slowly glow in the distance. She felt it. Fear of losing him. She was raised to lead. Trained to bond. Programmed to believe that logic was stronger than feeling. But John changed that. His voice. His refusal. His kindness. He was not like the others, and if he left, everything, the plan, the future, the fragile peace, could shatter. John, meanwhile, was busy plotting escape. He hadn't slept. His eyes were red, but his mind was clear. He had won. Signal left, Earth's rescue beacon, and just 6 hours before the Earth clause expired, the phone beeped. Extraction window open. One shot. Confirm? He paused. The ship was massive. Alien walls moved like water. Doors opened when you looked at them. There were no guards. But somehow he always felt watched. He couldn't trust Zyra anymore. Not after what her father said. We just need your genetic cooperation. John clenched his fist. I'm not a science project, he whispered. I'm going home. He crept through the corridor, following soft blue lights, using a stolen map he'd hidden under his sleeve. The extraction point was near the gravity chamber, a place where alien ships connected for transport, if Earth's stealth drone arrived, it could pull him out silently. He turned the corner and froze. Zyra was waiting for him. She didn't look angry. She looked tired. You're leaving, she said softly. John said nothing. Zyra stepped closer, hands down, peaceful. I knew you would try. I even cleared the path. John's eyes narrowed. Why? Because I wanted to see, she whispered. If you would leave without saying goodbye. John's voice shook. You lied to me. Zyra nodded. I did. He was surprised she admitted it. I lied, she said, because I didn't want to lose you. But now I understand. If you don't choose me freely, then it means nothing. John blinked. This wasn't a trick. Not this time. She held something out, a small crystal orb, glowing faintly. This is your key to the outer chamber. The extraction zone. John slowly took it. I won't stop you, Zyra said. But before you go, can I show you something? John hesitated. Then, silently, he nodded. She led him to a side chamber, quiet, empty, warm. Inside, holograms played around them. Not videos, but memories. Zyra as a child. Her people laughing. A planet once green, now fading. He saw her being trained by scientists, taught to speak Earth languages. Shown Earth's wars, Earth's violence, Earth's loneliness. Then, he saw something else. Dozens of messages. Sent by Zyra, over years. To different humans, but they were all ignored, all except his. He was the only one who replied. Haha, that's adorable. Zira looked at him. You laughed. You didn't mock. You didn't delete me. John whispered. I didn't know it. Was real, but it was, she said, and still is. Back in the main chamber, the countdown continued. 00:05:32 John held the orb. The signal was ready. Zira stood quietly. I want you to be free, she said. Even if that means losing everything I hoped for. John looked down. He thought about Earth. Would they treat Zira the way she treated him? Would they accept peace? Or would they use her like her father wanted to use him? He looked at the orb. Then looked at her. Zira, he said slowly, if I stay, no more lies. She nodded. No more. Not from you. Not from your people. Not from mine. She smiled. It was a small smile but real. You'd stay. Even without the bond? John sighed. I'd stay. To find out what this really is. He crushed the orb in his hand. The signal died. Earth's extraction drone, waiting silently. In the shadows of the ship, turned and vanished into space. Back on Earth. Alarms blared. The commander stared at the screen. He didn't extract. Why? No one answered. They didn't understand. But Zira did. Because for the first time, he had chosen to stay. Not for science. Not for peace. But for truth. Asterisk. The memory wasn't his. John stood in a dark field. A young alien girl, glowing blue, barely more than a child, looked up at the stars. Beside her stood an old woman with silver skin and eyes like moons. Someday, the elder said, we will find the one who completes the circle. Not from here, from beyond the black. The little girl pointed to a glowing star in the sky. From there? The old woman nodded. From Earth. The girl smiled. That little girl was Zira, and somehow John was seeing it, from inside her mind. John gasped and fell back. His heart pounded. Sweat ran down his back. He was in his room again, but the glowing orb beside his bed was flickering. Zira stepped in, surprised. Ah. You all right? John stood up fast. What was that? I saw your memory. I was there, in your head. Zira looked serious now. No smile. No calm voice. You're changing, she said. John stepped away. No, you did something to me. I'm not a telepath. Zira walked toward him slowly. You are now. She led him to the deep chamber. It was hidden behind the ship's core. A place only elders and scientists could enter. Zira had overridden every lock to get in. Inside, strange machines pulsed with energy. Tubes filled with silver fluid lined the walls. At the center, a large glass platform glowed under their feet. Zira pressed a button. A hologram appeared. Not a map. Not data. A human. A man in a lab coat. Smiling. Hello, Glee 7 team, the message said. This is Dr. William Carter, Earth Biogenetics, 58 years ago. If you're seeing this, it means Phase 0 was successful. John blinked. What? What is this? Zira turned to him. Your DNA is not ordinary. You are not just human. The message continued. Subject John Carter, Hybrid Project 1A successfully integrated with Earth population. Gene markers are stable, alien compatible. John's mouth opened slowly. No. Zira whispered. You were born on Earth, but not fully of Earth. The pieces clicked. The strange health issues he had as a child. His unusual resistance to vaccines. His faster reflexes. The way alien tech responded to him. John stepped back, shaking. You knew this? Zira nodded. Not at first, but when I saw your signal response. And your DN, I unlocked the chamber. John shouted, so I wasn't chosen by accident. Zira walked closer, eyes soft. No, you were chosen before you were even born. John sank to the floor. His entire life, his normal, boring, average life, was a lie. Earth had experimented with alien DNA, and he was the result. Zira sat beside him. You were the only hybrid who survived. You were hidden. Raised like a human. He looked at her. And now you want to breed more like me? Zira shook her head. No, I want to protect you. Because now, everyone wants you. Suddenly, the lights turned red. A voice echoed through the ship. Incoming vessel detected. Unregistered ID, Earth origin. Zira stood quickly. They came anyway. John's phone buzzed. New message. You weren't supposed to know. Come with us now, or be terminated as a genetic breach. John's blood went cold. Zira turned to him. You have to choose. Them, or me. He looked at the screen. Earth wasn't trying to save him. They were trying to cover up their mistake. Zira held out her hand. I can protect you. But not if you doubt me now. John looked at her. Then at the screen. Maybe he never had a normal life. Maybe he was built for something bigger. But for the first time, he could choose who he really wanted to be. Outside, Earth's black ship hovered like a shadow, ready to erase its secret. Inside, a hybrid man and a glowing alien woman stood side by side. No longer strangers, but something much more dangerous. Uncontrolled. United. Unpredictable. Asterisk. He had two buttons in front of him. One would save Earth, the other would end it. The old voice echoed through the learning dome. Children sat in silence, their eyes wide. He was born on Earth, but his blood carried stars. The humans called him a traitor. The aliens called him a miracle. His name was, the storyteller paused, John. 20 years earlier, inside the alien core ship, John stood between two glowing panels. Each one pulsed with energy, one red, one white. The red panel would send a pulse to Earth, erasing the lab, the black ship, and every secret buried beneath the oceans. The white panel would surrender to Earth's demand, deleting all alien genetic data, including John himself. Behind him, Zira stood silent. She didn't beg. She didn't plead. She simply waited, because the choice had to be his. The Earthship outside began charging its weapons. The sky above the alien fleet turned dark. John's phone buzzed one last time. Final warning, obey or be eliminated. Your body is not yours. He crushed the phone in his fist. I am not your science project. Zira stepped beside him. What will you do? John looked at both panels, and then turned away. I won't press either. Instead, he reached into his jacket and pulled out the orb Zira once gave him, the bonding token. It had been glowing faintly ever since the hybrid. Chamber activated. I'll make my own third choice. He placed the orb between the two panels. The room trembled. The panels began to merge, red and white swirling into gold. A new option was being born. Suddenly, the alien AI activated. Unknown sequence. Creating independent neural bridge. Warning, this may rewrite genetic authority protocols. John gritted his teeth. Good, Zira stared in awe. You're rewriting the law. John looked at her. No more forced bonding, no more lies. This time, everyone chooses. Outside, the Earthship began firing. But before the blast could reach the core ship, it stopped. Frozen mid-air surrounded by a golden field. Zira's people didn't do it. John did. His body now pulsed with both alien and human energy. His DNA had become the bridge. He was no longer just John. He was a new species. In the silence, he spoke. My name is John Carter. I was made without choice, but today I choose peace. And from now on, so will everyone else. 20 years later, Learning Dome. The children stared at the storyteller. One raised a hand. Is he real? The old woman smiled. Her blue skin glowed faintly under the dome lights. Yes, she said. He was real. He created the Treaty of Union. He gave birth to a new future. He vanished, but his signal still hums in our systems. A boy whispered, Do you think he's still alive? The woman looked out the dome window, where Earth and Gliese 7 now floated side by side in peace. "I think," she said softly, "he became something more." Final scene, a distant starship. A man stood at the edge of space, looking down at a new world below. No flag. No orders. No owner. Just a peaceful planet where humans and aliens live together. By choice, not control. He smiled, and as the ship disappeared into stardust, a quiet message echoed across the stars. "Ha ha! That's adorable."